we have no option. We just have to go with it. It's not like we can have them changed right now.
And yes, I remember my dad would share about this new curriculum that has been introduced.
Yeah.
This was something that was there back then, during the time of our grandparents and our parents. Mwaba kaunda, yes, mwaba kaunda, ndiye nzediko. It's like it has now been repeated. Anyway, we would want to interact with the viewers. So for your contributions and comments, you can simply contact the numbers that are showing on the screen, or better still, you can text us via Facebook, which is Lumen TV, or you can follow us on our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. We want to get to hear from you. Let's just get to interact. Yes, General.
Yeah,
you know the most important segment. We know we've actually lined up a lot of segments for you viewers, which is the health segment, sports segment, and the other important thing.
Actually, this is my favorite. Henry and I actually like this one because we gossip a lot. It gives us life. Okay.
I thought you were going to talk about the food for the soul.
Food for the soul is my favorite,
Yes. But sports is also
everything. I love
sports
everything.
Is also your favorite.
I love everything here. We also have food for the soul with Father Sydney, which will come later in the show.
So yes, it's always important to start with the word of God as you begin the day. Yes. So we dive into your favorite segment.
One of my favorite segments,
yes,
which is the newspaper picks.
Yes, it reminds me of Henry.
So I'll start with the mass newspaper. Wow. Munir blames HH for abuses. Hichilema would have stopped the arrests if he didn't approve. This story continues on page 3 in the mass newspaper.
Okay, and the other headline on the daily newspaper, Zambia, which reads, "Our agenda now is growth, growth, growth." HH. President Hakainde Hichilema says the New Dawn administration will soldier on with its agenda of producing up 3 million tons of copper by 2031 because it guarantees more jobs and job opportunities in Zambia.
Back in the mass newspaper, Zambia at crossroads. Can. My overall observation is that human rights stand at the crossroads as the country gets close to the general elections, says United Nations says United Nations Irene Khan. This story also continues on page 3.
On a sad note about this story, Korela claims one in Chililawombwe. Another person how am I finding it so difficult to pronounce this?
Okay.
Has succumbed to cholera, while the local authorities in Chililawombwe and Kitwe have closed over 20 restaurants operating in unsanitary conditions to contain the spread of the disease. This is really, really sad, knowing that the cholera thing has come back in our nation.
Yeah,
it's
true.
really a sad reading to read.
Yeah, looking at the rain season.
Yes.
Let me take the viewers to an international story. Rwanda illegally coping DR Congo. Minister tells BBC. Rwanda is illegally copying the Democratic Republic of Congo and attempting to obstruct regime change. The country's foreign minister has told the BBC.
We've all heard of this story that I'm about to read. of the past few months. It was all over social media. Says life for senseless boy killer. Lusaka High Court yesterday sentenced to life imprisonment a youth of Garden area Lusaka for killing a 10-year-old boy he picked from school. He later dumped the body behind a police station.
Wow.
Yes.
I remember this story very
some of the stories found in the Daily Mail newspaper.
And I remember this story very well.
Yes, it actually...
it actually started with the missing boy. Whenever you'd go on Facebook, I think, was it for 2 or 3 days, we kept seeing the posts, people sharing his picture saying he went missing. After on his way to school, I don't know if he was getting back from school or going to school.
He was getting from school. He was actually the same boy that actually picked him was picking him from school rather.
Yeah. So from missing, the next thing we actually read was the missing boy has been found dead in a maize field in Emersdale.
Which was really sad, and it was so touching.
Exactly. And I remember the grandmother's words were, my grandson, your soul shouldn't race till your killer is arrested. And I'm glad the Zambia police has actually done its best to arrest this person, and they've actually sentenced him to life imprisonment.
It's really sad looking at a young person spending his life or his entire life in a prison cells. It is.
What was the motive behind?
Wrong choices. Sometimes, we make wrong choices in order to. I don't know. Okay, I really don't know what had transpired, what prompted him to do such kind of things. But I must say it's really a sad story. Really, really sad.
Yeah, and it's actually part of what's trending on social media.
Oh, yes. I don't know, General, what are some of the stories that are trending on social media, apart from this one that we've talked about of the 10-year-old boy that was killed?
With the other story, each and every month now, our palm prices, there's a review of palm prices. It's either they go up or down. And unfortunately, this time, they have increased, in as much as they have increased slightly, but it's still the same. Palm prices have been increased. That's for diesel, petrol, kerosene.
Yeah. These things keep on happening.
Yeah.
And keep on
It's
happening.
a new normal.
It's a new normal. The other thing, General, of course, we kept on talking about it here on Lumen Morning Diary. Every time we'd come on set, we'd talk about the rains.
The rains. We've been praying and praying each and every. Yeah, actually, you're right. Every Saturday we're here would say, please, we hope we'll have a beautiful rainfall. Let's have sufficient rains and all that. And I'm glad January has had rains.
Yes, it has had rains. But there's this issue
always
of there's this issue of floods.
Exactly.
We've seen some houses are flooded,
especially Garden House.
Oh
God! You saw that video that was trending yesterday, where
the house
is totally flooded because it's like halfway. My body, I'm halfway in water.
But the other thing that we've also read on social media is that the caliber is still low. Yes, so we pray that the rains should also feel the caliber. We want this load shedding issue to reduce.
In as much
we've been talking of load shedding
and load shedding.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this trend. where Namibia actually said, thank you very much for supplying us with power, despite you guys having difficulties with power. You know, we've supplied power to Namibia each and every day.
I won't say anything about that. I won't say anything about that because I know nothing. I've not come across it, so I won't.
Seriously?
I've not come across it.
No, it's everywhere because actually we hate it from different TV platforms and different social media platforms.
With this issue of load shedding.
Yeah, and you know the comments that people actually were like, it's like giving your child, leaving your child without food and giving your neighbor's food, child food. It's really sad. Okay, so yesterday was Uniforms Day. Wow. Yesterday's social media was flooded
with teacher in uniforms. It was countrywide.
It was countrywide, and you say teachers, but not only teachers. Yeah. We saw different organizations. We even saw bankers.
Yes, but it was mostly like common with the teachers. Like in each and every school yesterday in Lusaka, in Eastern Province, we managed to get some pictures from Eastern Province. We managed to get some pictures from the Copper Belt, which is Furila. Seeing teachers in uniforms.
The other pictures look like commenting.
Yeah, it was. One of my friends was telling me today, who happens to be a teacher, she was like, oh, you know what, Alice, today was... It was a bit of a funny day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because immediately when we stepped into class, the pupils were all laughing. And you know, seeing your teacher in the uniform that you put on.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And you could see some videos. Others would actually play
with the pupils.
They would pretend to be pupils. Others were being punished just for jokes and all that. We saw different dances from the teachers. I think it was really a funny day.
Yes.
It was actually more fun than Teacher's Day.
I must say it was a great interaction between the teacher and a pupil, which was, I would recommend this to continue.
Yeah, and you know, that's actually encouragement. I loved that. That's encouragement to the pupils because one would say, okay, so my teacher actually wore a uniform like me. Well, let me also do the best in school so that I might become a teacher one day. I might become a banker one day. I might become a journalist one day, you see. So seeing these other organizations take up that step,
yes,
it's kudos to them.
Yeah, you're right, General. It's more or less like, okay, you're getting to remind your pupils, this is where I began. I was once in your shoes.
We all start from somewhere.
Yes.
This is why I'm saying some were actually funny, some were motivating. Would see others vanyamulavichan vingove viwaya. You know, they would carry drink bottles. I saw there are others that I saw benzoika muma books
mwametenza nyamuli ya kudala
muma plastic bag ya muma diaper bena nguni ututoma bullets and the likes. You see,
a plastic, Rambo.
Yeah,
it was common back then. We would carry our books
and
in plastic
that's actually that's what I'm saying. That's a motivation to the young ones to say, in as much as you don't have a good school bag, you can still make it one day, like I made it.
Yes, we know we have a lot of stories that are actually trending on social media, but we can only share these ones. You also, our dear viewers, you can tell us what is trending. Get to interact with us. We want to hear from you. You can simply do that by contacting the number that is showing on the screen. Yes, today's topic is education responsive.
How are you responding to education?
We want to get to interact with you. You can simply call us or text us. Let's hear your view about it. For now, we'll go on a break. Just right after the break, we'll join Father Sidney Lwinda with food for the soul. For now, we go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Roma Parish Academy, a Catholic school dedicated to transforming the mind of the child into a productive individual. Guided by our motto, excellence through faith and hard work, we empower students to reach their full potential. Our qualified teaching staff, registered with the Teaching Council of Zambia, provide exceptional guidance and support. In an excellent environment conducive for learning, your child will discover their passions and talents. And with affordable fees and flexible payment plan, quality education is within reach. At Roma Parish Academy, we nurture minds, transform lives, and shape the future. Join our community today. Contact us on 0761 583 648 or 0776 104 332. Visit our Facebook page, Roma Parish Academy St. Stephen. Roma Parish Academy, excellence through faith and hard work. Transforming minds one child at a time.
Good morning, dear viewers and listeners. I'm Sydney Luvinda. I'm here to share a word of encouragement on this program of Food for the Soul. As we prepare to celebrate the day of the presentation of the Lord, which is a very big feast for the religious and consecrated life, I would like to share with you about the importance of being alive, being a human being. When Jesus Christ was presented in the temple by Mary and Joseph, he was dedicated to God. He was taken back, offered back to God. He was kind of being set apart, being consecrated for the service and for the work of God. Our life as human beings, in whatever we do, it may be this or that, but we should always remember that everything we do needs to have a bearing on God, because God is our ultimate fulfillment, is our ultimate goal in life. St. Augustine of Hippo once says, "Late have I known you, O Lord." And then he also continues and says, "Our lives, our hearts are restless until the rest in you, O God." Therefore, the meaning in life can only come when we rededicate our lives, doing everything that we do as though we are doing it for God. Every work that we do should have a pointer, should have a bearing on God. Do everything you do as though you are doing it for God. And then you are going to be fulfilled, and we are going to have happiness. On this day when we celebrate the presentation of the Lord, I would like to wish all the religious men and women, all those living consecrated life, a happy feast day. And to all of us, I wish you a blessed day. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Father Sidney Luvinda. Indeed, in whatever we do, we need God. let's do things as if we're doing things for God. That's a very powerful message, and I'm really touched. I don't know about you, Alice.
Yes. The fact that as Catholic we'll be celebrating the presentation of the Lord tomorrow, Sunday. Father has also mentioned that in everything that we do, we should always remember that we are doing it for God, which is very important. We need to put God in everything, in every decision that we make in our lives. It's always important to put God in the forefront. I love the fact that he also mentioned, I love the saying of, it's actually from St. Augustine. He had mentioned to say, our hearts are restless until they rest in the Lord.
True.
Yes, so it's all about God. In everything that we do, it's all about God.
Yeah, like we've always said, you start your day with a prayer, meaning there's God. You see, decision makings. You want to get married, always put God first. You know, we've been to so many functions. We normally start with a prayer.
Yes, like you've said, General, starting your day with God. Just like today is the 1st of February, which is the new month. It's always important that you dedicate this entire month to God. Let God lead. Let God take control of every decision that you make in your life.
True.
It's been a very powerful message. Yes,
I'm sure even our viewers have been touched. You know, even if you didn't want to involve God in all your decisions, you probably have a reflection and say, no, I need God in everything I do.
Oh yes.
Very powerful one.
Very powerful indeed. Yes, we'll still talk about our topic of focus for today, which is education responsive? General ngati kuikamba muchinyanja ungaikambe bwanji. You and I are from Eastern.
We're from Eastern by
name?
By name, by paper. Because I can't speak Senga, you know that. So it's just by paper, by name.
But muchinyanja tinga kambeko. Muchinyanja tinga kambeko. Education respond.
The respond is English.
Okay, I leave it. I surrender. I leave it there.
That's Bimba. Anyways, let's leave it there.
Yes.
So I had a conversation with someone about education. This person says he feels African curriculum is not doing its best. The reason why he said this, he gave me so many reasons, which I agreed with some and I laughed to some. He says we are given a lot of subjects that are actually irrelevant.
Okay.
What he meant was they would give us, to say, let me say 9 subjects. You will be learning 9 subjects each and every day. But when we grow up, we complete our education. We don't need all those 9 subjects. He says, we Africans, we can go to school for 21 years or 19 years. In these foreign lands, a child that's 19 years old is actually a billionaire. He says we have a long period of learning, whilst they don't teach us skills that will give us money. Are you getting what he says?
I am getting what you're saying, General.
He says we'll be taught about Homo habilis. What has Homo habilis done for us?
It's important to always find out about our history. It's important. Teach me about Zambia. Teach me about Africa. Teach me about Shaka.
What has it done for us? He says he wishes one day it will change, where if I say I want to be an engineer, whilst I'm young, I take up
focus-
subjects that are just involving engineering. Like he even gave an example of China to say you find that in baby class China consider phone. Unasidiza grade 12 back a degree ukango ikonza phone. It's because our friends focus on what is bringing money by the end
Believe
of
me,
the day.
I was in a class of art. Alice.
Art.
I leave it there. I leave it there. I leave it there. For now, we go on a break. Just right after the break, we'll be joined by our guest who will help us take up this health segment. For now, we go on a break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Lumen Morning Diary. Right about now, we've just been joined by our guest for the health segment, who is Cynthia Mwape. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Cynthia, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes, Cynthia, today we're talking about diabetes. We want to find out what is diabetes.
All right. Thank you so much for the question. Diabetes has been a rampant condition in our society. So eventually we need to know about it and learn about it. So just a simple definition, diabetes mellitus, it is a group of condition, or it's a systemic condition that is affected and on how the blood sugars are being used in the body. So eventually we need this blood sugar in our body, which is glucose. So for the muscles, for the brain to work, we need sugar, we need glucose. But this same sugar can actually put our lives at risk. So there's a way that we need to use these sugars. So if you overuse it, it will actually affect the body. Yeah.
You know,
Actually, about sugar. There's this saying that achana twakonka sugar musa.
Yeah.
to sugar.
And I'm told both are not really good for our health. Sugar is not good for our health.
Exactly.
Salad jamani wakamba pa kukino is not good for our health. Cynthia, diabetes, the word diabetes is a disease, right?
Exactly.
But I'm told it's in types. So what types do we have and how many are they?
All right, yeah, I was getting to that. So diabetes, there are several types of diabetes, but I'll just focus on just a few of them, the rampant ones. So there's diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, and we have gestational diabetes, and we also have pre-diabetes. So let me just highlight a bit on each of them. So gestational diabetes, this eventually happens during pregnancy. So you find a lot of mothers are being diagnosed with diabetes. So that diabetes is just being blocked by a certain hormone that is being produced in the placenta. So I won't go much into details. So and we also have pre-diabetes. So when I just say pre-diabetes, this is just something just that happens in a short period. We wouldn't actually define it as diabetes. Like somebody would have high BP tomorrow, and the other day will have low BP. So eventually we wouldn't say that person is hypertensive, So that's about pre-diabetes, which can be controlled. But if it's not controlled, it would eventually turn into diabetes. And we also have diabetes 1, which is more common in kids. They're just people that are born with it. Yeah, diabetes 1. We also have diabetes 2. Yeah, so this diabetes 1, there's one that is an insulin dependent. Whereby
that's diabetes 2.
That's diabetes 1. So initially, the blood sugars are not properly produced in the body, so we need insulin for that. And diabetes 2, insulin is being produced, but it cannot be properly used by the body. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the risk factors about this diabetes?
Okay, so age is one of the risk factors. So especially in Zambia, mostly people tend to suffer from diabetes from, let's say, 45. That's according to some researchers. So some according to 40, 45. One is at risk of being affected with diabetes. We also have family history. For instance, the mother has diabetes, the father has diabetes. This is not something that we can choose, no. Yeah, so family history is one of them. High consumption of alcohol is one of the causes. So eventually, if there's somebody out there who is taking over excess of alcohol, they are at risk of having diabetes. Despite that, if the body is dormant, you're not doing physical activity. So it's important for one to be active. So you need to be, at least you do to my walk, you do to my warm-ups and stuff like that. And despite that, high cholesterol, like mwetesta kambila, or too much excess of fats, sugar, salads, nabwera salads. So yeah, so those are one of the reasons.
So she actually said it's a family thing. So what she means, you actually mean diabetes is genetically transmitted?
Yeah, it can be genetically transmitted.
Sorry,
it can be inherited. So
actually it can be inherited.
Exactly.
And I've actually seen a lot of people that have inherited diabetes.
Yeah.
Sorry to take you back, Cynthia. You had mentioned earlier on to say even in pregnant women. I just want to find out, like in pregnant women, what really causes that? Because you would find before the pregnancy, this person didn't have diabetes, and then when they get pregnant, after giving birth, somebody has diabetes.
Okay, like I mentioned in the first place, so this gestational pregnancy, it just occurs during pregnancy, just the pregnancy period. And then what usually happens is there's a certain hormone that is being produced, and it's being blocked under the production, like it's being blocked. So even after pregnancy, if it persists, if it actually persists, we can actually continue giving them medication according to the type of diabetes that they have. If it's diabetes 1 or diabetes 2, we'll actually still give them the medicine as advised by the doctor or nurse.
Okay, before I ask you this other question, I'm also taking you back a bit.
Okay.
You said others are born with it.
Okay.
So the ones that are born with diabetes, does it phase away, or it goes to they're old enough? Because I remember you said normally it's common in Zambia to have diabetes after 40.
Exactly. That's the, like I mentioned, there's diabetes 1 and diabetes 2. So initially, diabetes 2 is more common in adults, in elderly men and women. So with diabetes 1 is just born with it. It's genetically inherited by the parents.
And they need to start taking medication.
They need to start taking medication.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what are the clinical features of diabetes?
Okay. The clinical features of diabetes can be a blurred vision. So when you say someone wanna shower.
Oh, that's why when we do
if you don't treat it early, if it's not managed early, it would lead to blindness. And the other thing is they urinate frequently. And some of them, the other symptoms are they're too eager to take a lot of water.
Yeah, I learned that just on Monday. I had gone to see a patient who's actually diabetic.
Okay.
She actually mentioned to say, I started with the drinking of water.
Yes.
I used to get surprised. I would drink a lot of water.
Exactly.
Like, what's happening? But no, I would wake up, I'm hungry in the middle of the night, take a lot of water.
Yeah.
What she didn't know was she was actually diabetic.
Yeah. So frequent intake of water. And the other thing is delayment of wound healing. There's a certain period that a wound must heal. But then if you observe, there are certain people that just for a long time, like 2 years, 3 years, so that can be one of the symptoms of diabetes.
Okay.
Yes.
And talking about complications, what are some of them?
So complications can be amputation.
Okay.
Since already on the clinical features we have delayment of wounds, so we can have amputation. One can be amputated. We've seen most of the people sugar. So one of the complications can be amputated. Amputation. One can be amputated. And the other thing is death. It can also lead to death. Of course, God forbid, no one should die because there's treatment already. Yeah, and the other thing can be heart attack. Can also lead to cardiovascular conditions such as heart failure, angina, and many more.
I'm also told, I don't know, since you're a specialist, at least maybe I should hear it from you. You know, people to Lasara Ilafedimo, we think we know everything.
Yeah.
To say diabetes actually triggers hypertension, high blood pressure. How true is this?
Diabetes?
Yes. In case your sugar levels are high, you might end up with high blood pressure too because of your sugar levels.
In fact, high blood pressure is one of the is one of the risk factors of diabetes. So that would also lead to heart failure. Yeah.
So in short, it's true.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay. And what are the complications of diabetes?
The complications is the question that I'd asked. We'll dive into the treatments now.
Yes, the treatments.
All right. So like I said, there's type 1, type 2, as well as type 3. Type 1, type 2, and we have gestational diabetes as well as pre-diabetes. So eventually with type 1, we just give them, since it cannot produce insulin, so we usually administer insulin, and we advise the patients to exercise to increase the sensitivity of insulin in the body. Besides that, with type 2, we give them, we put them on anti-diabetic medication. When you are being, you can be advised by the doctor. And the other thing is you need to take precaution on your nutritional status. Like you need to be cautioned. This is you need to make sure you are conscious on the food to take and what not to take.
Manje wayo makambatu wa sugar safuniko kutisa maningi against safuniko nkala na njala.
Safuniko kutisa maningi, safuniko kunkala na futi na njala. It's because they don't want your sugar levels to go up. Again, they don't want your sugar levels to go down. Wow. So if it goes up, it's a problem. If it goes down, it's a problem. So you need to be optimal. Like you need to balance up.
Okay.
Okay. So, what's the normal level of diabetes? As in, bachisanga 8, bachisanga 15, 25. At least give me a clear picture and the viewers on which one is the normal.
All right. So, according to, there are a lot of scientists that have spoken about the normal sugar levels, the normal and abnormal. So the normal sugar levels, certain books start from 3.5 to 8 or 10, and then to others they claim to say it starts from 4.5 to 10.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Cynthia, thank you so much for sharing with us about diabetes. Maybe your concluding remarks that you would love to share with the viewers about this.
All right, thank you so much. So to the viewers out there, you need to be cautious about your healthy. Your healthy comes first. So you need to make sure that your body is active, you take a proper diet, and so forth and so on. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, we've been educated. I've learned one or two things about diabetes. I've learned that taking too much sugar is not good.
Sure, thank you so much.
And I'm glad you actually came here today because we actually had a conversation about sugar where I say my tea has less sugar. Has more sugar.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you. That was Cynthia Mwape teaching us about diabetes. For now, we go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Sena minwa huyo wa isa mwishinelia mfu itela nyimbo zakidwa lelo zuwa lokongeka litela nyimbo zakidwa karani ambuye Yesu mwai nemungikondweresa 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 ukaristia ohera Yesu zona ukaristia ohera Yesu zona ukaristia ohera Yesu zona ukaristia ohera Yesu zona karani ambuye Yesu mwai nemungikondweresa karani ambuye Yesu mwai nemungikondweresa karani ambuye Yesu mwai nemungikondweresa karani ambuye Yesu mwai nemungikondweresa.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, you are still watching Lumen Morning Diary, and today's topic is education responsive. Kaya mchinyanja ngaikambe banji Henry. Kuti baja wamene sibaishita understand bwino we breaking it down.
All right. Mchinyanja ngaikambe ati kodi exam imayanka ma to respond simply means kuyanka.
Yes.
Yeah. So does it mean that education imayanka ma questions amene bantu amene bamakhala nayo, does it answer to the challenges that we face, the real life challenges? Because many of the times we've seen curriculums changing. Not too long ago we saw some changes in 2015. It was implemented in 2016, and we are seeing other changes again coming up in 2028, starting especially in Form 1, Form 2, and also the grade 1s that will be the first people to experience these changes, and these grade 3s that are in grade 3 right now, they are the same. That they'll be the first people to be the Form 1s that will be in 2028. Does education respond to these challenges that people are facing in day-to-day life? Our phone calls are open. You can simply call us on the numbers that you're able to see on your screen, so that you can tell us how you're experiencing these answers that education is giving. Some of the people do say that education is key to success. Is it really key to success in your life? We are talking about someone who is watching us on that television, someone who is following us on Facebook. Does it respond to these challenges that people are facing right now? General, many other times people say education is key to success. Does it apply the same to you?
Actually, I mentioned this in the beginning of the show to say, in as much as it might not be the key to success all the times, but I prefer we always go with that motto to say education is the key to success. I actually gave an example of a conversation that I had to say, education a billionaire, because that person feels we are taught things that are unnecessary. Adama subjects, they don't really teach us skills that will show us how to make money by the end of the day.
All right, and also these are the same challenges that people do not really pay attention to. Like General say, education is key to success, because education is in different forms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so whatever you're doing, as long as you learned it from somewhere, it doesn't mean that you have to be in a classroom setup for you to acquire that education. It can still be the key to success, actually. So many of the times that people talk about education in different ways, it is how you understand it, where you acquired that education from. Because many of the times do say that Zambian education does not add value to real life situations, where you find people learning skeletons of grasshoppers, and then also learning about fish, homabilities, all those things. Do they really apply in real life situations?
Yes. I would still go back to the words of saying, indeed, education is the key to success. Education really opens up so many things in our lives. There is just this huge difference. I don't know if you would agree with me, to somebody who's been to school and somebody who hasn't been to school. Then I'm so comfortable to say, I've heard these statements where people would actually use to say, Uja Nzedi billionaire, but he had never been to school, and you wouldn't want to go to school simply because you had seen somebody who has made it in life because they've never been to school. That is a wrong way of thinking.
Exactly.
Don't ever think like that. I think for me, I would say education really opens up so many things in our lives. Even the way we think, really, you want to do that business, you want to do that skill, get educated. We seem to have a caller. Let's pick it up. Good morning, you're through to Lumen Morning Diary.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Fine, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Belinda. I'm calling from Chipangani.
Oh, Chipangani?
Yes, Eastern Province.
Oh, all the way from Eastern. Yes, Belinda.
Yes, so my take on the topic today, I think we're missing the point. When we talk of education, we're not talking about the class perspective only.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we are talking about education is broad.
Yeah.
So even at home, what you are being taught by your mother, your father, even the people around is also part of education. So if we talk of being the key to success, yes, it is the key to success. Because once you know something, you are taught something, even a skill, they say, if I get a skill from someone, I've got that knowledge. That's why they say knowledge is power. So when you've got that knowledge, then you've been empowered by education.
All right, Belinda, before you go, does this new curriculum, I'm sure you had some components being added into the new curriculum. From the time that you started learning, is there any topic that you feel like it is making sense or applicable in your life today?
Yes. Actually, I was coming to the new curriculum. I think they've done well to change it. Because the issue of the vernacular was killing learners. I'm a teacher, so I'm talking by practical.
Okay.
So when we talk of this issue of where they're saying the form of educating learners should be in a local language. Now here is an example. Myself, I'm from Southern Province. My children are learning Tonga there. Then we talk of me being transferred to Eastern Province. My children also have to come with me to Eastern Province. How are they going to relate the two languages? So now that they've changed the curriculum, taking it back to English, I think it's going to help us very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Belinda.
Thank you very much. I'm enjoying the show.
Okay, thank you.
And hope you were in a school uniform yesterday.
Yes, and I was looking very pretty. My father actually called me to say, is that picture for now? Because you look like you're grade 9.
All right. That was Belinda calling us from Chipangari. Thank you very much, Belinda, for calling.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, is education responsive? At least we need to hear from someone from elsewhere here in Zambia. Does it respond to real life issues? I think Belinda talked about skills. Yeah. So I think, let me ask Alice. Alice, is there any skill that you acquired that you can pinpoint? I mean, the life surviving skill.
Yes,
that you learned from
I use my hands.
This is interesting.
I use my hands. Apart from Alice being in front of the camera, Alice can cook. I can cook. I can use these hands. Invite me for it. Do you know that I'm a chef by profession?
I do.
General knows.
Yes. So it's a skill. I use my hands. And apart from that, Alice can write. It's my hands. Yes.
All right, the phone lines are still open. You can simply call us on the numbers that you're able to see on the screen. Those who are watching us through Facebook, those who are watching us through the television. At least you can tell us. We can pick one or two calls before we go. At least we hear from someone somewhere. Is education responsive to these real life challenges that people are facing? Wherever you're watching us, this is the only Catholic TV station for Zambia, streaming in all the 10 provinces of Zambia. It's good that Chipangali is watching and
all the way from Eastern Province.
And I actually picked something from what our caller said, to say when we say education, it's not really about the class, in as much as we focused on education yam class. Like you mentioned, even at home, what we're being taught to do is also education. And then Alice had mentioned something to say, in as much as you might be successful, academic school is very important. Normally we like saying, but bala liking knowledge school.
Yeah.
This is the reason why we've seen people that have made it big in life without education. They've still gone back to school, either maybe just to learn English, or to they choose a few subjects that at least they can have,
they
or
can have.
Others they'll just say, okay, I need a grade 12 certificate. In as much as I'm rich, I'm whatever, let me go back to school and get knowledge kaku school, which is very important to get knowledge kaku school, no matter how big you might be.
Yeah. Before Alice comes in, General, I have a question. Is there anything that you learned from school that you can pinpoint that is that thing that I learned from school? I don't know the reason why I learned it. Is there anything that you can pinpoint? from the topics, the subjects, and
I don't want to seem to be a hater, and I don't want to, he actually putting me on the spot. Even the time I had a conversation with that person, I'm always angry that I was taught to name the parts of a caterpillar, deep down my heart, insects and all that. For me, those have never really made sense to me. And
because of the type of the career that you chose.
The career that I chose, literally, it doesn't. This is why I agree with what the person I had a conversation with to say, in future, maybe we should start going to school and getting subjects that are in line with what we want to do once we grow up. Because parts of the caterpillar really don't make sense to me. But one thing that I'm happy with is, at least in school, that's where I learned etiquettes, manners. We actually got that from school, in as much as we can get them from home. But at home they wouldn't actually teach you how to behave in high profile places.
Even just you sitting in front of the camera today, Generate, is because you were in class.
I was in class. I've been to class.
Yes. For you and me to be here, it's because it started from somewhere.
From somewhere.
Because there's somebody who taught us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alice, General has answered what she never liked. About learning about caterpillar.
Why do you keep putting people on spot?
I was in a class of arts.
She already said.
I was in a class of arts. Believe me, if you put a paper and say, Alice, start drawing here,
you can draw.
Hey.
And funny part is, I was actually in arts in grade 9. I was in an arts class. Drawing was a bit challenging for me, but I've got that small skill of being. I can design certain things like jewelries and other things, but not where I start drawing. No, I was really poor at that. That's why I had to.
That's why Henry.
Yes.
All right.
That's why I had to drop it when I went to grade 10. I said no.
All right. Hope you did not learn.
It's back to you.
In a meneze kuziwa kocha benija to borrow one from Chanija. You know that mathematics.
You are good in mathematics.
Of borrowing. Sometimes I learned a clip where Daliso had to do his content to say in Kanyama borrowing.
I know, Henry, you have a lot to talk about. Let me just read the messages that we have on Facebook. There is a message from Daniel. He says he's following. And the other one from Eugene, following you live from Lusaka. Thank you, Daniel and Eugene, for following Lumen Morning Diary. For now, we go on a break. Just after break, we join the sports segment.
Hello and welcome to the sports segment of the breakfast show. Today we are going to look at the fixtures of the Zambian Super League. Of course, the league is entering week 22 today. Nkwazi will play against Nkana Football Club, Nkwazi is a team that is very difficult to beat at home. They have a very strong defense, and they're playing against Tinkana, who lost their game last weekend against Napsa Stars. So this is a game that is going to expect a lot of sparks today. Napsa Stars will play against Green Eagles. Napsa Stars, of course, they are coming from a win against Nkana Football Club, playing against Green Eagles, who are coming from a loss against Indeni Football Club. So this again is going to be another very interesting game. Lumana Radiants will play against Red Arrows. Red Arrows are the defending champions, and being the defending champions, every team wants to beat them. And of course, Lumana Radiants will be at home, so they will make sure they capitalize on their home advantage and try to get the maximum points if possible. But of course, being the defending champions, Red Arrows, they are going to make sure they win this game, because they are playing against a team that is trying to survive relegation. Muza Football Club, a team that of course they are not doing so well in the league this season. Of course, they coming from a loss and playing against Forest Rangers, another team that this season haven't done so well. They are languishing in the relegation zone. Power Dynamos will play against Zanaco. This again is going to be a very interesting game, because Power Dynamos are doing so well. Looking at Zanaco again, a team that is coming up. They started very badly, but they are now trying to pick up the pieces after firing their coach, and now they've brought in Numba Mamba, who left Cabo Warriors. They have joined Zanaco, and with the joining Zanaco, of course, he has won 3 games so far, and in 3 games in 4 games. So so far so good for Numba Mamba and Zanaco. Zesco United, they will play against Nchanga Rangers. Of course, Nchanga Rangers is a team that has beefed up some players. We have brought in quite a number of players in the January transfer window. Atletico Lusaka will play against Green Buffaloes. This will be a local derby, a game that will also expect a lot of sparks. Atletico Lusaka is a team that comprises of very young players. They like to play the game. They want to start from the back and build until they score their goals. But they will be playing against a Green Buffaloes team that came from a loss. They lost against Zanaco last weekend by 4-1. So this again is going to be a very interesting game that we played in Lusaka today. Cabo Warriors tomorrow will play against Indeni Football Club. Indeni is a team that is languishing at the bottom, playing against Cabo Warriors, a team that is on top of the league. Again, this is a game that Cabo Warriors will make sure they maximize their points, because if you look at the way the log is, the difference between the teams that are on top there is very minimal. A difference of 2 points, goal differences and so on. So they will make sure they maximize their points so that they maintain their top position. Mutondo Stars will play against Mufulira Wanderers. Mufulira Wanderers are coming from a win last week, and they will be playing against Mutondo Stars, a team that is also struggling in the league. Another news that is coming in is that of the Africa Cup draws were done last week, and Zambia is in Group A. In Group A, they have Morocco, the host, and Mali, also Comoros. So 4 teams will be in Group A. Of course, Zambia and Morocco have met so many times, and this time, of course, the coach will make sure they at least better the performances that they have had. Of course, Morocco has won quite a number of games compared to Zambia, but Zambia will try to maximize their points when they play against Mali, because Mali and Zambia head to head, Zambia is better than Mali, so Zambia will make sure they maintain their supremacy against Mali and win a game, and then play against Comoros. And also, if they can win against Comoros, then the chances of actually qualifying to the second round are very, very bright. So the work starts now for Coach Avram Grant. He should start working now, because now we know who we're going to play against, and it's easy to come up with friendlies based on the teams that we're going to play against. We have a North African team, Morocco. We have a team that plays. We look at some teams that play like Mali, and those that play like Comoros, and then we see how we can play against those teams. So yeah, the work starts now. Another good news is that the Copper Queens have got a new coach. The new coach is Nora Hampton. Nora Hampton is a coach that is coming from Switzerland. She also coached Ghana, and we know what she did when she came to play against Zambia here. They played very good football. She's a coach that likes to play the game, and of course, just coming in already, she has started work. She has watched quite a number of games that the Zambian Women Super League have played, and of course, she wants to quickly get to know how the Zambian players play, the culture and so on, so that she's able to put in her philosophy in the Copper Queens and see what they can do at the WAFCON. Sorry. Yeah, so that is what we have for today. Over to you, Alice and General.
Welcome back. Indeed, it's a busy weekend this weekend in the world of sports. I'm sure we'll be in our sports regalias, supporting our favorite teams, and may the best teams win. Henry, supporta na timu bwanjwa mimi
bwana sometimes physically muntu achoka aenda kutamba bola wamene awina cha bad yense ndio support time.
Okay. Hawe tiri pamoja. Masapota timu yamene awina cha. Timu yamene
awina. At least guys, you need to have a team that you love.
No, you answer we love the team that wins.
Hivi mapinda muka unaona wenda support a team na jazz wavala then ya loser, you know, the other
we
team
we feature in all my jazz.
Munaimvela hapo statement yako ati supporter sa loser.
Yeah,
you know the way we are always there for Zambia, in as much as the men's team disappoints us, but we're always there for it. Support us a loser. So you too, I'm giving you a task. By the end of this year, you need to choose your favorite teams.
The one that wins, we choose.
but I think I'll start supporting Kwazi.
Yeah.
There should be a reason behind it, I guess. There should be a reason behind it, I think so. Anyway, today's show, our topic of focus is education responsive. We've had our interaction from Berlin, all the way from Eastern Province, who has shared her thought about it. And thank you for those that have actually written down their messages via Facebook, Eugene and Daniel. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to Lumen TV on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. And remember, Lumen TV is on channel 101 Top Star. It has been an awesome journey. Henry.
Yeah, and also our topic continues. You can follow Lumen Conversation Unscripted on Monday as Father Leonard Muhamba will wrap it up on the National Education, the National Education Secretary for ZCCB. This is where everything, if you want to hear more about the new curriculum, how it is splitted, how it will be done, you can follow the Lumen Conversation Unscripted. You can watch it on Monday at 18:30 hours.
Yes, it will be live. Don't forget to also participate on that day about this topic that we had today.
Yeah, indeed, it has been an awesome journey for today. I guess we'll be right back here next week.
Yes.
With a more educative and interesting topic.
Yeah.
Yes, what goes up must always come down. Don't forget to also follow the live program that is happening at FENZA, which is Christian Unity for the Interdomination. We've seen Christian coming together from different churches. Watch live this program at 10 hours today. From us, it's bye-bye. See you next week.